The perception that you have about yourself and your own capabilities is the root of your reality, and it shapes what you are experiencing in your life and what you believe to be true about your experience here on Earth. Hey, shapeshifters, welcome back to another episode of the Cosmic Valkyrie podcast. I'm Lynn Louise, and today's episode, we are going to shake the foundation of your identity, but in the best possible way. Because we're diving into the deep end of energetic roots of your entire reality, your identity. So let's just get started. Here's the deal. Before you can change a habit or rewrite patterns, you have to look at the identity that is driving the behavior. I'm talking about core level identities. Ones that you have developed since birth. Because the truth is, who you believe you are is the engine behind every choice you make. It's what determines what you believe to be true about your own capabilities, and what you allow or tolerate, and even what you reach for in life or avoid altogether. And today, we're not just talking theory. We're going to name some of the most powerful subconscious identities women carry and how to begin to release them for good. The ones that are keeping you stuck in that trap of just continually looping around and getting the same results. So let's get into it. Here's the breakdown. Identities create behaviors. Behaviors become habits. Habits shape your reality. Meaning shape your external world. Which means that if you only try to change your behaviors, but you are still operating from the same person, meaning the same identity that created the outcomes that you have right now, you will eventually snap back into the old patterns and old behaviors. It is that simple, and that is the willpower trap. And why so many attempts at changing your life haven't stuck. Because you're doing the changing in your external life, but it is still the you that believes that she can't. That's the actual glitch. Real lasting evolution doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from becoming someone new. And there are 4 identities women have been taught from birth that I want to assess today that you must let go of. So let's name one of the first identities that's got to go. That is the identity of the silent witness. Now, some of these are gonna have a punch to them, but hang in there because you're gonna realize how much they have shaped your reality. And the silent witness, this is the woman who has seen everything. The microaggressions, the subtle disrespect, the way she gets overlooked in meetings, relationships within our society and our systems, and yet says nothing. Not because she doesn't care, but because she has been trained to believe that her voice is dangerous. She believes that she is responsible for keeping the peace, being polite, and that causing trouble, this makes her very unlikable. But here's the deal. Silence is compliance with the very systems that want her small. And staying small doesn't protect your power. It leaks it. So that's the first identity that's got to go. Now the second identity is the damsel in distress. And I'm sure we all have fallen into this one. This one is tricky because it's seductive. It whispers, someone will rescue me. Someone else knows better. I'm too overwhelmed or confused or emotional to handle this one alone. Here's the deal. This one feels like surrender, but it is actually self-abandonment. Process that. It keeps women outsourcing their intuition, deferring their leadership, and waiting for the right person or moment to finally give them permission. It's the internal helplessness that keeps you from making decisions, setting boundaries, or trusting your own wisdom. I'm going to give you some examples of what this might sound like. Maybe when you were younger, you were told not to worry about fixing things or managing money or protecting yourself, with the understanding that a man would handle it for you. It might have been meant to be protective, but it planted a very strong belief on a subconscious level that you don't need to know how because you'll always be rescued. Maybe you heard things like, let your brother do it. Whether it was moving furniture, solving a math problem, or even figuring out directions. You were subtly taught to defer to a male authority or strength. Or maybe this one. You're too emotional to deal with this right now. When you had big feelings or strong opinions, a strong father figure may have swooped in and dismissed you and taken over. You were taught that your emotions made you unfit to learn, lead, or decide. Now, this next one personally happened to me a lot when I was younger. My boyfriend would show up unexpectedly, call multiple times a day, and offering to help when I never asked for it. And when I questioned it, he would say it was because he cared. Saying things like, I just wanted to make sure you were okay. But here's what really happened. I started second-guessing my own decisions. I felt watched, like someone was always evaluating whether I was handling life correctly, and then made to feel guilty for setting boundaries or doing something my own way. Does that sound familiar to you? Because it's a tricky one. It's control disguised as concerned, and the message is subtle but very insidious, which is, I don't believe you're capable on your own, so you need monitored and managed. And over time, you doubt your independence and you wait for external approval before acting. It's not whether they meant harm. It's about whether you're shrinking to stay in someone else's comfort zone. True support empowers. It doesn't hover, fix, or control. True support amplifies your power. And that was not empowerment. Now, the next one is the princess treatment, but without all the power. If you were doted on like a princess, but never had true autonomy, you may have learned to associate love with dependency, not empowerment. Being adorned felt good, but only as long as you stayed soft, sweet, and in need of care. This was messaging to your subconscious that being loved only happened when you're fragile, not fierce. And girl, you're fierce. Now let me talk about the last one. This might be last, but it is definitely not least, and that is the good girl. It pains me to even say those words. This is the one who's always nice, agreeable, and self-sacrificing. She doesn't need to make any waves or ask for too much. She believes that if she is good enough, she will be safe. If she is pleasing enough, she will be chosen. And if she follows the rules, she'll be rewarded. But the truth is, the system was never built to reward your goodness. It thrives on your obedience. The moment you stop performing goodness for the comfort of others is the moment you start reclaiming your truth, not someone else's. And these moments in the past may have felt loving and protective, but they created a hidden context. And that's, if you want to be safe and supported, you must also stay small and dependent. Now here's the deal. Undoing these identities starts with recognizing the subtle roots and choosing to reclaim your agency. It's not about rebellion, so to speak, but it's about returning to your truth, ignoring the identities that are telling you that if you are nice enough, compliant enough, pleasing enough, you'll be safe, chosen, and lovable, while feeding off your silence and self-doubt. The moment you stop trying to be palatable to a system of suppression is the moment you become powerful. And I know your question is, so how do we shift it? How do we stop running outdated programming and step into alignment with the identity that's going to create our dream life? Well, that's exactly what happens inside E10X. But we can get you started today. So I'm going to take you through an exercise to help you start getting momentum. The first thing is you need to sit down and you need to name which identities you have been operating from without even realizing it. Make a list of them. Then ask yourself, who would I be without this role? What choices would you make if you didn't believe you had to behave? And then create a very clear vision, because a vision is your roadmap. Write down who you're becoming. She isn't the silent one. She isn't helpless. She's not over accommodating. She is sovereign, grounded, and powerful. You're here to own your truth. You don't need permission to be her. You just need to remember you are her. And here's the deal. If you've been wondering why certain patterns still run your life even after all the healing work you've done, this is exactly why. Until you shift your core level identities, your reality can't flow. You can't create a future from a version of you that is anchored in the past. You have to reprogram your subconscious core identities to reflect that in which you want to create. If this episode has stirred something in you, let this be your turning point. Jump into the Shapeshifter Signal, my private mailing list, where I take these conversations even deeper. This is where the downloads continue. The shifts become embodiment. You receive exclusive insights, practices, and invitations to rise to your next evolution. Because you can't unravel any of this alone. None of us have. So sign up now. The link is in the description. And let your revolution ripple out into the world because you're ready. And on that note, I love you. Stay bold, stay true, and never ever trade truth for comfort. Until next time. Thanks for listening to this entire podcast. If you love helping others, then please share this via your social media with friends and family. If you found value in it, they will too. Also, if you have questions, I'm here for you. You can email me questions to thecosmicvalkyrie@gmail.com. I might even use one of your questions on future podcast episodes. Also, I do have a personal request. I believe that we are all here to help each other heal, grow, and evolve. So let's help more people. If you would please, leave a nice review on iTunes. It will help the algorithms, and I would be forever grateful. And through your assistance, we could transform more lives.